Ever found like somebody is just chilling in the house with your pajamas, walking around, or you know, there's this guy from South Africa. Who's that legend that you always like seeing his shows? This comic guy,
Trevor Noah.
So there's that podcast he had shared with me, and he was talking about like with G Shetty. That was really profound. He was talking about like you never stick to how you like do things, like entering the wrong train which is going on a different direction. So the more you stay on that train, the more the expensive the journey becomes. So I believe that that's also one of the things, like in terms of boundaries, that's how we should like look at it. If somebody like breaks your boundary, you should like be assertive, stand up and be like, no, this is not it and this does not serve me. So you should be open to letting go. So communication is one thing. Boundaries should serve you. And also in terms of conflict resolution, never let your conflicts like spill over. Always be a free bird. Speak it out.
Friendship is a choice. This is something we choose. It's not something we are born into. It's not something we are just infatuated by the looks. You know, like even like choosing a love partner, it can be based on maybe first card. And like honestly speaking, those are the things that normally drive us to things like romantic relationship. A sibling, this is something we are born into. But for friendship is a choice. And when it is a choice, like commitments really plays a role. Affirmation and constantly checking up on one another, because it is a therapy, as you've mentioned. Like I really have to have this someone that I feel vulnerable. I will share with you my rejection outside, my struggles, my frustration, without the fear of being judged or being pushed away for that. I warmly invite you to subscribe to our YouTube podcast, Modern Day Campfire, where we advocate for mental health through a powerful lens of visual arts and meaningful conversation. This platform is a safe space for reflection, expression, and healing. Created with care and authenticity, your support not only spreads the awareness, but also strengthens a growing community that values compassion, creativity, and open dialogue. Join us today in this journey. You are welcome here. Thank you. And today we have a very magnificent guest who goes by the name Eugene Cheruiyot. Karibu tena Eugene Cheruiyot.
Thank you very much, brother. It's such an honor being here.
It is your first podcast?
It's my first podcast, so quite anxious about it, but everything will be fine, so stay tuned.
But your second time on television, right?
Definitely. That was this first time I was there. I was an athlete. Now I'm here as a podcastee, if I may put it. So thanks.
So thank you again. And out of curiosity, I know there is a stranger who is watching you, and how will you best describe yourself to that stranger?
Okay, that's a very nice way to put it. So my name is Eugene Cheruiyot. I am currently I'm doing software. I'm in the field of software, that is, and I do project management. I do software operations. I would also describe myself as a free thinker. I actually enjoy reading about philosophies, getting to get an own view of the world and how things operate. I'm also a brother, and not only like brother to like my siblings, but also brothers to friends. And Martin is one of my brothers, let me put it. And as well, I'm a brother to a sister, and our sisters. And that's how I would definitely put it. That's how, maybe if the stranger is very much interested in knowing me, then I'll continue putting up the other details.
But that is well put.
Thank you.
In the context of what we are having here, that is well put. And what is one thing people do get wrong about you?
One thing people do get wrong about me. People think, or if I may say, people may mistake me for a nerd. I wouldn't put it like a nerd is a bad thing, but putting on glasses. Now, this goes to all the people who put on glasses. If people see you with glasses, they automatically assume you're a nerd. But honestly, not everyone. Anyway, that's one concept that people get wrong about us. And yeah, I believe that that would be the mask because I've gotten it from quite a lot of people. Yeah, but I'm a free spirit, a cheerful spirit. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. And today we are going to talk about our topics today. It's gonna be brotherhood. Sorry, Dormmates to brotherhood. And here we are going to revolve about friendships, relationships, boundaries, and growth as men. So, just what will you like to maybe tell an audience or a viewer who is joining us now, and what will you promise them to get by the end of this conversation?
Okay, yeah, that's a really interesting topic. I really look forward to it. So, so for some background, for the Dormmates to friends, that is, or to friendships, Martin and I have known each other almost 10 years now. That's, if I may put it to be more accurate, is 9 years. When we were in the same high school. And, you know, in high school, you always have like a number of people, so you don't really get to know each and every person. But now, maybe life puts you in situations where you like find yourself together, and that's where now you get to know the other person better. All right. So, in terms of friendships, yeah, we've had a couple of experiences, and I believe that sets the foundation for this topic. So, for the viewer watching at home, what you expect to get by the end of this session is get to know how the dynamics of brotherhood work, how to understand friendships, and also how to get more insights on how or how brotherhood is in general. Like, you'll get to understand the breakdown, the granularity of brotherhood. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I put it.
Yeah, you've given our viewer every reason to stay, and please don't leave. Yeah, we are gonna keep our promise.
Yeah. We're gonna deliver.
Okay.
Trust us. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And in your own terms, how will you define friendships and boundaries?
I really like the questions, the quality of questions. So we have friendship, and I'll also bring in one other term, which is acquaintance. So looking at friendships, it's something that is rooted from understanding a person, or understanding, like getting to a point where there's like, would I put it as vulnerability? But if I bring in now the aspect of acquaintance, which is now the difference of friends, I know you say the opposite of friendship is enemies or something, but for me, friendship and acquaintance they're two different things. So in terms of friendship, there's like a connection, there's an establishment of a connection, but the acquaintance is just somebody who you know, and there's not much like that's there. So friendship for me is something that roots from establishment of connection, getting to understand the other person better, and getting to like experience the some bits of other person. As they put it, like life, everybody is a piece, is a bit, so you get to experience like bits of this person. So friendship is that. And in terms of boundaries, I believe boundaries, if I may, a nice way to put it is boundaries are what somebody believes in, and something that it does not allow anybody else to cross. Something that there's a set of rules that somebody defines that cannot be crossed no matter what, be it like your friend, be it your family, be it your everybody just out there, be it your lover. So boundaries are well-defined rules that an individual sets that serve them. Yeah, that serve them. Yeah, I believe that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, that is the perfect way to put it. Yeah, and that is really insightful and well put. And just a light question. Back then in high school, when you were my dormitory prefect, can you remember the impression that you had for me back then?
Okay.
Yeah.
So he has given you a spoiler that I always try to hide from people. But yeah, I was a dormitory captain at that time in high school. That was around the year 2018 that I was in Form 3. So we were in the same dormitory. The dormitory name was Wire. For those who will be watching this and you are in Wire, yeah. I know you know the experience, how it was over there. So yeah, I got lucky, got that position of deputy captain. And from the impression I really got to interact with so many members, because you know, in a dormitory it used to have like large numbers. You used to find like around, for a single part, you find like a cube has around 6 to like 9 people, and we have a number of cubes, so that's around 200 to 250 if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so the impression I had on Martin, I got to know Martin when I joined that role, and the impression I had on him, okay, that time, yeah, Martin, I would put it, I didn't find him in mistakes. That is, yeah, he was this quiet guy who like used to just be around, who used to just live life and listen to what's being told. Though there's some points, I believe this one happened to each and every person. We crossed each other. It was during duties. You used to find like Saturday we had this inspection. So sometimes you come and find that somebody has been assigned this part and coming to ask. So one of them was Martin, I remember. Not done his duties, but not that he did not do it. He came and later did it. So the impression I had on you is you are like a chill guy. Though I didn't, that time I hadn't known you like that deeply, but never found you in mistakes. Yeah. You are like a motivated person, because in the morning I really didn't get any situation where I could find you like you've been late, because I remember a few characters. I still have faces in my mind and also names of people who like used to get out late on a daily basis. So the fact that I can't remember Martin from that means that he was like a person who you couldn't find on the wrong at most times. Yeah. And also, apart from the dome part, I also remember him from the performances he used to do. I think he did used to write some poetry. Yeah, and he used to present them actually during culture days. He used to go in front of the podium, air out his poem. And yeah, I believe he was a free spirit in terms of expression. So that's how I'll best put it. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And back then, you as a leader, was it like your first experience as a leader? Was it your second time? And how was the experience for you? And how do you feel like it shaped who you are today?
Okay. So I wouldn't put it as it was my first time as a leader, but I'll put it as first time experience as a leader.
Okay.
Because during that part is where I got like the real experience. It's more of like, maybe you've been working somewhere, but now you come and find now a real job, then you begin like doing it. So for me, it was a first real life experience in terms of leadership. You're given a responsibility, they expect you to deliver, and so you try your best to fulfill it. So I'd put it as it was challenging, because let me now tell you. So in terms of leadership, what happened, the way in our school we used to do it, you used to like write a letter you used to like write an application letter, have it at the deputy's office. So after they review it, then now they outline the participants, call you for an interview. After they call you for an interview, well, they assess you based on like the knowledge, like in terms of how you perform in class, in terms of how you relate with people. And from that, I like got into I got into a real interview when I was in in high school, that is. And so for me, what happened actually, it's somebody who drafted a whole letter and put my name. Yeah. As so what was applied for, I believe, was a library captain. But so it's lead it under the deputy's office. I came to like when I was told like, yeah, I saw your name on the list that was given. And so coming to check it, I saw my name. Then I was like, oh, this is crazy. Who the hell did this? Yeah, but that I just decided, went in for the interview, and yeah, I managed to secure that. So with that, it came with a lot of responsibilities. I believe at that time you used to like try to balance between studying and also leadership. And it was quite challenging because if you compare it with somebody who is like just studying, like the concentration, the focus is on the studies. But now you find for you, sometimes you're in class during the morning assemblies or morning sessions. The housemaster comes in for you, he's on your neck. He's like, why the duty is not done? So this was one of the challenging parts, but it's something that enabled me grow. I believe our minds should be all-rounded and open to change, and also I believe we should also train our mind to, like, I wouldn't put it as multitasking, but getting to assume various roles and trying out stuff, because that brings about the flexibility of the mind. So it's more of like, your mind shouldn't just be on one thing, but you should be able to think dynamically, if I may put it. So it's something that challenged me at that time. I was looking at how I can balance leadership and how I can balance studies, and I was able to achieve that because in terms of performance, I wasn't that bad off as well. And so in terms of building me, it has really built me because I believe I have the confidence of speaking out in front of like crowds or in front of the people leading. And just a spoiler, I'm also doing some project management, and with that I assume the role of a project manager. So definitely a project manager is a leader. You need to follow up with the various teams, and that has really shaped me, and that experience that I had in high school. And it also brought about the aspect of communication. I believe communication is a key asset or tool that everybody needs to have. So in terms of like reporting, getting to give information to not only your leaders, but also communicating with the various teams. And I'd really say that the leadership position really played a crucial role in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, that is
It's
that is profound.
profound and prolific.
Prolific. That is
Yeah.
powerful.
Thank you.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just back to high school,
Mhm.
like we weren't that close.
Mhm.
And joining campus, we happened to be in the same school,
Mhm.
and we also had the same situation before we joined.
Mhm.
We were to go into another campus.
Mhm. Yeah. I remember.
Another same
Yeah.
campus.
Yeah.
And then eventually we ended up in the same campus.
Yeah.
And the same course.
Mhm. Mhm.
What do you think like created that click? Or what was different? Like why didn't we click in high school? Because we were doing also
The same, computer studies. Yeah. So for the question that you've just asked, so first of all, let me highlight that the universe has a very crazy way of putting people together or putting things together, because it's very rare to find that you were in the same maybe primary with somebody, came in and found the person again in the same secondary school, then later on came and found somebody in the same campus. So for me and Martin, what happened is we were in the same high school together, and now in the campus we also came together, met together, and we were also doing the same course. Hiyo inafanyikanga sana kweli. Yeah. So the question that you have just asked is how that click was. So I believe what was a key challenge in high school is we were not maybe in the same class. Yeah, we were in the same dormitory, but I was also, remember when I would join I joined high school, I was in like a different dormitory. Then when I came and got the role that is now in my third year, which is Form 3, when I came and got the position of deputy captain for, I was then transferred to now the dormitory that you guys were in. So that's why I'd say I came to know you a bit. Like it went progressively, if I may say. Because in Form 1, maybe I didn't know you that much. Maybe in Form 2, we interacted a bit. Then Form 3, we were in the same house, or how we used to put it, dormitory or house. Yeah. Then now, yeah, in Form 4, I never had that role. Then I believe that during that time we also got to like know each other. So what made it easy on campus is the fact that we were from the same school. It's like meeting somebody, a long time friend. You're like, oh, okay, you're here. So you know that the universe has already like sieved. So he sieved like and made Martin and I go to the same campus, go to the same course. And to say we also had like around 4 other people from the same school that we were in, or even the same class, and we were still in the same course. So Yeah, what made it easier to click in campus, I believe, is the fact that first of all we were in the same high school. Secondly, I also believe it's the experiences were aligning. Like, remember when we were back in high school, we used to have the same experience. Not like, yeah, I came in, let's say there's person A from, let's say, Nairobi school, there's person B from, let's say, Maseno. So these people, when they come together, the experiences that they live and share, this guy from Nairobi school says, you know, we used to have like pizza, sausages and something. Then this person from Maseno, they just used to have like bread. So like you find that the experiences are not same, so it's more of like, where am I, where. But for us, we had the same experience back in high school, same teachers, same learning conditions and everything. So I believe that was easier. And being also in the same course, and it's a funny way how we also met in class, because I remember I was just seated in front of you. I didn't even know it was during this time for COVID. People were putting on like masks and everything. Yeah, so I'm just sitting in front. We just finished a class. Somebody taps me from the back and it's like, can I have your notebook?
Notes.
Yeah. You remember? Yeah, then I just availed the notes, just being like, okay, let me give this guy. Then just sitting there. Then now when the book was being written, I was like, bro, this is you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe that that was one of an outcome, or one of the alignments of the universe to where we are now. I believe that even this topic of brotherhood couldn't be spoken today. We didn't have that encounter. Yes. So yeah, I believe the clicking was in terms of the same school, the same experiences, and also maybe the same kind of friends that we used to have back then in high school. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd put it as that.
Yeah, that is, yeah. I couldn't.
You call it that.
I could, yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
And after then,
Mhm.
that now was like after exchanging the book, that was like the new beginning.
Yeah.
We started eating lunch together, and then like our first year we happened to all stay in hostels. Then now our second year we moved out.
Yeah.
And we had like to share room.
Yeah.
And we became roommates. So my question is, what did you think like played a part in us being good roommates? And what was the hardest part of sharing space?
Okay, so what made it easier for us to become roommates? So funny enough,
Good roommates.
yeah, good roommates. The good is very, yeah. So first of all, in as much as we were also in the same course and same university, we were also allocated the same hostels. That is, okay, that was separate in terms of people. Everybody had their own space, but we were still in the same hostel. And that was Kilimambogo. Yeah, and there was a time we also moved to Nyayo.
Then I wasn't around.
Oh, you wasn't around, but then Kilimambogo is where we had. Yeah. So yeah, that Kilimambogo. So I believe that by then, the fact that first of all we knew each other, we were from the same school. I believe the friendship started building from there. So during even our stay in Kilimambogo, sometimes I would pull up with some friends to his room. Sometimes he would pull up to my room with friends. Sometimes we would go to friends' rooms. And I believe with that we were able to get like to understand to understand like each other, how each and every one of us operates. I believe by the time even we were moving out now, it was easier for us like to like align and like I would say things were clearly spelled out, because we moved into a space outside the hostels. And one thing that I came to also like about one thing that I'd say it contributed is the sense of responsibility, because I believe we never crossed each other in terms of responsibility. I believe there are roommates who are out there, you find like maybe it's bad to say, but maybe let's say you have like a lazy roommate. So you find like you doing the most. Yeah. But for us it was clearly defined, like if I like take care of if I like wash maybe the utensils and maybe clean the house today, maybe tomorrow it will be you. We also had the turn taking in terms of like, if I do this, you also do this. There was that aspect of I wouldn't put it, there was dependence but independence. That's ironical, right? But there was this aspect of we find like, yeah, we are dependent in terms of like split costings. You find that it's a 50-50 thing. I know that it's quite a challenge in terms of roommates, where you find that, let's say, this person is more of like, I would put it as a provider, spends more than the other. So that aspect really didn't stand out within us. We used to find like it's a 50-50 thing. If, let's say, we were buying this thing, it's 1,000 shillings, I'd give out my 500, give out his 500, and everything will be. So that sense of responsibility, if I may put it, that was one of the things that contributed to us being good, not good in quotes. Actually, let me remove the quotes. Being good roommates. Good yeah, roommates. Yeah. Also, what I'd say, as I'd put it before, the experience that we had, like back in even high school, they really gave us like really good sense of understanding yourself, understanding what you're doing, how to relate well with others. So I believe that also played a role. Yeah, in terms of the hygiene, having everything clean. Yeah, so yeah, that connection also as well, because there's somebody you might find that you don't speak to, you just find like your roommates and you're not speaking like to each other, you just find like your goals are not aligning. So I believe also how we were approaching things were well aligned. Yeah.
That is well put. You answered my question.
Oh, okay. I was quite dubious if I've answered your question, but yeah.
Yeah, you've answered my question. And my other question is, do you think we had like unspoken boundaries that we didn't even, like, we respected one another on, but we didn't even realize?
Yeah, I definitely say so. Yeah, you're saying like respecting boundaries. Would I put it unconsciously? Okay, in a way that
unconsciously.
Yeah, unconsciously, right? Yeah. Not conscious, not like you're there, you're like, okay, this person has, yeah. Yes, I believe it's a lot of times. Yeah. Like you don't have your boundaries determined or spelled out, but then whatever you do does not invoke another person's boundaries. So first of all, in terms of boundaries, I feel like boundaries are something that everybody needs to have. And it's one of the things that needs to serve us, and by serving I mean protect us, and not controlling us.
Yeah.
Right?
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Serving,
need to serve us, serving but not controlling.
Okay.
So yeah, I believe we had some of those. Let me could I think of an example? Okay. Because I remember crossing each other was like never an option.
I would give an example of like maybe clothes and like our clothes.
Oh, okay. Like,
yeah. Your clothes.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
And we never said like don't wear my. We never reached there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we never put anything like that. That's actually a good example. Yeah. Like you find your stuff, and by stuff the example given there is like clothes. You never found like somebody is just chilling in the house with your pajamas walking around, or you never found like somebody is chilling with your shoes, or just so I believe that that was actually unspoken. Yeah, because we never laid it out. I never came into a point I was like, no, my clothes remain my clothes. And your clothes remain your clothes. Yeah. So
and just to add something, I feel like that one, like I'm thinking of it now, and like the value that had, because there are those people who like they are interdependent, but us practicing that, it kind of made us to love our things.
Yeah, definitely. You value your things. Yeah,
which was a good thing. Sometimes you'll have the best shoes. Mine is not better, but the fact that I will still choose mine was something, and I feel like this spilling effect, maybe it kind of also turned out in life in different ways.
Definitely, it applied to many things, because they always say that the small things are the ones that maybe build up to the big things. Like you find the small things. There's a quote that says like a butterfly flapping its wings at Indian Ocean may cause a tornado in the United States or California. So you see, like it's a small flap of a butterfly, but it's causing a tornado in California. So it means that the small thing. So if we even had like that respect in the small things, it means that even utterly in the bigger things, we had more respect, you see. Yeah, so it's something that really shaped us. I actually pay tribute to that. That's a very strong thing. Actually, even me, while I'm in this podcast, I'm learning. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And we used to argue. We used to argue because we had conflicts.
definitely.
Yeah.
It should be there.
Yeah. And after that, still our friendship was intact. We used to still like share songs, listen to songs, sing along songs, even after a hard conversation. Where do you think we learned that from?
I'd say it was God sent, man.
Yeah, okay.
I'd say it was God sent. Yeah, because communication is like a really it's a really good, a big skill that I believe for us we just like learned. I wouldn't say learned it, but we experienced it, like getting to understand how this as a person like does this, how to communicate, how to get to solve like problems. I believe we never left like a problem unsettled. Yeah. Even if we argued like in the morning in terms of something small, by the end of the day we'll just be in the room like laughing. Yeah. So communication, what was the question again? I know I haven't answered.
When did we learn that now?
Where did we learn that?
And for some reason, I feel like
it's from, actually I feel it's from the conversations we also had, because I believe we used to talk about big things. I actually attribute my awareness at the moment from the conversations like we used to have, and I believe from those conversations we used to like look at how best things are handled and how best you can handle situations. I would come sit down, maybe give you a scenario, and you would like definitely give me your view on the same. Because yeah, there's this guy from South Africa. Who's that legend that you always like sing his shows? This comic guy,
Trevor Noah.
So there's that podcast you had shared with me, and he was talking about like, yeah, with G Shetty. That was really profound. He was talking about like you never stick to how you like do things, because yeah, I'm African, I use a spoon. Let's say you're Chinese, you use a chopstick. So I shouldn't be like close-minded that in every meal that I have I need to use like this spoon. As well as you Chinese, you are not you shouldn't be like close-minded that every meal I need. Sometimes I can just come and sit, observe how you use that chopsticks, maybe try it out on me, and if it's something that suits me better, I go with it. Like not confiscating your mind to the same approach that you think is the socially accepted, or even, if I may put it. So your question you were asking in terms of how
we learn that, how we learn to like handle conflict.
Yes, how to handle conflict. So I believe it's from the conversations that we had. I truly attribute it to that. Yeah, because we will come and sit down. Maybe I believe you also like used to read books, so sometimes you'll come and share how this and this goes. Maybe share some YouTube skits or some podcasts. I watch it, we come have a discussion on it, and from that I believe we also got to learn about communication, and not only communication but every other thing, even that aspect of leaving nothing unsettled like before the day ends. You have like 24 hours in a day. Let's say your guys conflicted at around the 8th hour of the day. Before it reaches the 24th hour, like why not settle it? Like the whole point of living is being at happiness with everybody. So yeah, we used to like sometimes argue, sometimes our things are not aligning, but by the end of the day, we're back to laughter and everything is back up as it was. Yeah.
And do you have like any conflict that you kind of feel like we handled it well, and maybe the one that maybe we didn't handle it well? Maybe you can describe to the characteristics. You don't have to say the characteristic or of that conflict that we really handled it well, and the one that we really didn't handle it well.
Okay, that's a tough one. I have to like dig in deep in my memories. But for the conflict that we never handle it well, I won't like give details of it. But in terms of characteristics, it was like one of a big conflict that I'd say put the friendship on the line. Yeah. But how we came and handled it, I believe we came and had a discussion on the same. Got like I'd use this term very much. Vulnerability. Vulnerability is more of like sharing that free spirit of like opening up and speaking out what you feel. So yeah, I remember we came down, sat down, had a conversation. We looked at the problem from the root basis, from both perspectives. I brought it. I said that, yeah, I was not happy of this situation because of this and this and this. And this arose from this and this and this. I also paid some active listening and listened to your side of the story. And coming to sit down, we now weigh the options because me looking at your perspective, yeah, you also have a point. Yeah, why that conflict was there. I also have a point on why that conflict was there. So what's the way forward? And from that, we discussed the way forward and everything went back. And also sometimes apologies is something like very key, because I believe that people are egoistic in terms of like they're like, I wouldn't say sorry or do this and this. But I remember from our point of view, if like you wrong somebody, you're just like, yeah, sorry man, it won't maybe happen again. And yeah, we move on forward. And you find, if let's say it comes, okay, because definitely it might, there's a possibility of it happening again.
Yeah.
But if it happens again, yeah, you give the reasons and you're like, man, sorry once more. Yeah, I believe nothing soothes the soul as a sorry. Because if somebody like does something and says sorry, he's gone down, and now you're like, okay, yeah, this. But if like somebody becomes egoistic in terms of, no, I won't say sorry for this. I think that's what leads people to even a higher perspective of conflict, where you find like now people are fighting, where people maybe are affecting or are messing the other people's life in terms of. So that was one of the conflicts. I won't give the example. And do you say something to do with good conflict?
Yeah, the one you feel like we kind of handled it well.
So that one was the one that was handled well.
Well.
And one that was not handled well. Well, I wouldn't give an example as well. There was one that stayed for almost like 2 weeks, to the point that it even maybe compromised maybe moving out of the space and getting everybody become independent. The fact that it was left for like 2 weeks without being solved, I believe that was okay. It was a conflict. Eventually it was solved in a good way, but leaving it for like the whole of 2 weeks, yeah, that was one that was not handled well. Because coming to see it, as I've put it, like if you are wrong with somebody, it's better to have it handled before like the end of the day.
Yeah.
At least your soul also feels like, yeah, I'm at ease, man. Yeah. So that was one of it. So from the question that I've been asked, what I'd like to put out is have a timely way of responding to, never be at wrong with somebody. I believe all of us are humans. Yeah, we do wrong sometimes, we do get into conflicts, but in whatever you do, just strive to be a better person in this world, and also never compromise like the happiness of somebody for your own sake. Like, don't be happy when somebody else is sad. Like, we are here in this world, we need to have a happy world. So yeah, in all that we do, let's strive to make have a happy world. And in terms of the conflicts, yeah, let's just have them resolved early. I believe that's just the thing that's sounding off in my mind. Yeah. So I believe that has maybe answered your question.
You've answered my question.
Yeah.
You've answered my question. Yeah, and also if I was to add one thing on the communication, the conflict that wasn't handled well, as you've said, like it took us like 2 weeks to handle it, and Pia, something in it was suppressing, and there was like a suppression inside it, and it led to a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding. That is why it was even kind of hard, but yeah, at the end of the day, it was taken care of, and that is what I'll add. And talking of that, do you think like communication styles can build or break a male relationship?
Yeah, I really like the choice of your questions. Yeah, communication styles, like they really matter. They really matter. Because I believe for us, we also had like a foundation of these communication styles where you used to find like First of all, we had like active listening. That's in as much as that's a way of communicating actually. Because if you listen to the other person, like you're dedicating your time to listen to what this other person says. They say that the best learners are the one who always listen. Yeah, and they listen keenly. So active listening was one of the communication styles that we had incorporated. We also had that respecting of boundaries and everything. And one that really stood out was the complimentary ones, because I remember sometimes you used to like go get a really good fit, come with it to the house, put it on, and the guy is like, yo, Martin is like, yeah, that fit is really dope, that fit is really fire. I mean, that gives you a lot of confidence, right? Yeah.
After cooking a dope meal.
After cooking like a very dope meal, actually. Yeah, actually, I used to have like a secret ingredient, a secret formula of cooking eggs and some greens, and that was. You remember? Like the.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah. So he came at some point, he started incorporating it, and it was like, yeah.
But then there is something about meals that magically we kind of share. Like your good meal. I've been in cases where I'll make effort won't be appreciated because it is not their type of meal. Yeah. But like we shared a lot of like your good meal was my good meal.
Yeah, true.
It was a good thing.
And also speaking to that, the complimentary was like from an honest perspective. It wasn't like because honestly, if like I had like maybe a bad fit, you'll be like, nah. Or maybe if I put like some weird combos in terms of dressing, you're like, no, that's too shouting and this. So it was constructive compliments. And compliments from a honest perspective. So honesty is also one of the things, one of the communication styles that was there, because we were like honest with
one another.
Yeah. Sometimes even it's normal where you find like sometimes both of you maybe are not in the same maybe financial state. You find like somebody pops delayed to send like some cash, so you can't put it from just be like, no, today I won't be able to like split the way we've been doing, so maybe you can sort me out, then later on I can come and give it back to you. So in terms of communications, I believe the communication styles also played a very big role. Do you have anything to add on that?
I was like, it was, I'm still thinking of the food and how funny it was. And I'm like, it's funny, like something like just food, the way we approach it, it kind of played like how important it is. Like it's funny, like when we are talking about communication, complimenting, food is part of the
true.
And it's funny,
And also one funny thing is, during that time we never knew that it was communication styles. Now sitting here, the way you've asked me, now is when I'm thinking and I'm like, yo, this was a communication style. Because that thing, it was just, I wouldn't say a light thing, it was something that really gave joy to your heart. Maybe being told like, yeah, that meal is good, the way you've arranged the house is really nice, the way you've cleaned like those shoes and whatever you've bought is really nice. Like that time we wouldn't term it as maybe a communication, but looking down like right now, it was like one of the communication styles that really played a big role. Profound.
Thank you for that.
Thanks too.
And looking back, how would you say our relationship has shaped who you are today?
Okay. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for something. I believe that you played a key role in terms of me being aware of things. Like I remember sometimes Martin would wake up in the morning, read a book. I believe that there's a book I read under your influence, and that was the Subtle Art.
Who Moved My Cheese?
Who Moved My Cheese?
It was you introduced me to the Subtle Art.
I'm the one who introduced to Subtle Art. Then introduced me to Who.
And then I started reading books. Then I went to Who Moved My Cheese.
Okay. And I remember Who Moved My Cheese. You just sent me like a PDF, and you were like, "This is just pages. Like 35 pages." Then I was like, if this guy has sent me this, let me just check. And after finishing it, we had a really profound conversation out of it.
Yeah.
I believe even that time, if we were to have a podcast, man, we would be spitting like facts.
Yeah, buzz after buzz.
Yeah, you guys should also read that book. Who Moved My Cheese?
Yeah. And when I look back, like for the subtle art, you introduced it to me, but I finished it earlier than
me. Yeah.
This guy go back to it.
Yeah.
Make sure
this guy used to, in terms now of books, Martin was the one who was really pushing it first. But in terms of movies, now I'm the one.
Music too. Like one of those, like you introduced me to great songs. Like if I was to define artists, I would, like the people I would mention are people from your playlist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it also played a role.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, because very much. People like Tyler the Creator, A$AP Rocky, it was like a holistic art on dressing. So we started playing attention to dressing.
Yeah. I believe that it started now building itself. Maybe you're listening to a song, you now come to see the artist. They introduce you to fashion. You look at fashion, you find like this artist also takes part in, for example, somebody like Tyler the Creator. He also like designs like houses. There's that Golf La Flor, which is on the mountain, man. The thing is really dope. So you now start paying attention to like art. So it was something that was progressive. And in terms of also books, the self-help books, I believe it also, like, one thing that I got out of this, okay, actually the friendship is still there. You've asked me one of the things that I was able to pick up along the way from our experience. So awareness, I'd put awareness. Yeah, because honestly that time, I remember when we were joining campus, we used to have like a shallow view of the world, how everything works, and it spanned across like relationships, dressing, life. Yeah, but now getting to have those genuine conversations and getting also to view life from your perspective, and also from the others' perspective, the others that you introduced me to as well. Yeah, I believe like right now I'm very aware of a number of things. Yeah, even coming to know of like everything, like let's say something like the Maslow's law of hierarchy, how that thing, like the breakdown itself. Funny enough is I might introduce you to something, but the breakdown that you gave me in terms of that thing, I'm like, were you the one who did it? Yeah. So awareness is one of the things that I've gotten out with. Also in terms of relationship with people, I've been able to like understand the various forms of how to handle people. Let's say you find that somebody, let's say, is an introvert. How do you go about an introvert? If somebody is an extrovert, how do you go about an extrovert? If somebody is an ambivert, how do you go about an ambivert? Yeah. So understanding the communication as well, how to connect also with people. Yeah, how to build like solid friendships, because I started from a very and ripe stage or something from the root level, and it's something that has grown. So yeah, and I'll describe our friend like a mustard. A mustard always has like a very small seed, but as it grows, it really grows and becomes among the biggest trees that's out there. So yeah, I'd put it as awareness was one of the best things that I ever got out with from our experience, and also how to maybe handle life in different perspectives. Because at that time, if I may put it, we never really like we were not like very lucky enough to be from very strong backgrounds. But how we tackle life by then, how you get to live, how you get to do stuff, like it was greatly influenced by the experiences that we had. So yeah, I'd like to also thank you for that. Yeah. What about you?
I will say self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency. Yeah, like it was like, it is something like, and this this affects the boundaries. It played a bigger role on many things. So when I talk about self-sufficiency, I like being around you, I didn't have like to compromise anything about me, and I believe I never put you in that situation because we were able to show up on our fields. Like if you were to read, if you were to do something, if you were to do some cleaning, if you were to do like, there was no point that it created an inconvenience whereby I couldn't read my books, because he is around the house, or I couldn't watch the movie because he was around the house. We created this environment that sometimes even silence too. Like we'll just be doing our own stuff. It's like you're alone in the house, and you'll complete it successfully because we did things. You created, you are easy to coding and stuff. He was able to do some things, created his portfolio, did some application, and we shared the achievements. I was able to, the fact that I could even create a song in the house. You said that. Did some painting also. I did some painting, and it was a complete work. It was something come I was staying alone, and I wouldn't say there was a part of me that I compromised in a healthy way. So like we were self-sufficient on our own in the relationship, and you brought that evidence. So it's something that I really, because funny enough, this is the funny thing. Sometimes we will sit down and we'll have this good conversation, even of romantic relationship and stuff. But despite of talking about that romantic relationship, maybe we'll be heavy on healthy relationship, the way a healthy relationship looks like and everything, and we got to apply it in our relationship. So Nezasema, this was where I learned what self-sufficiency is, what boundaries are, and another thing I would say, implementing them. Like sometimes it's so easy to do the talk, but I was able to do the work in the relationship we had. So like, and man, it is still serving me. I know, like now I know that I know how a relationship that serves look like, because kuna something here I really appreciate on what we had. I wouldn't call it toxic traits, because there are those people who live that type of life, but we had this form of maturity. The way we define our pleasure, the way we define our rest, the way it was something that honestly was very serving. And yeah, that is something like I can happily say I got out of it, and it's a conversation we've never had. And I'm just looking at it.
I'm also learning from this. I'm looking at it now deeply, and I'm like, man, this was like,
okay, I guess that is well put.
Yeah, very well put.
Very well put. Yeah. So my another question is, what does brotherhood or male friendship mean to you, especially here in adulthood?
What does adulthood
or male friendship, and brotherhood mean to you in adulthood? Because I know you had a different definition of it while you were young.
So male friendship and brotherhood, at its core, for me, it genuinely means trust. It means loyalty. It means respectfulness. It means commitment. It means like supporting each other, being a support system to each other. Because what's the essence of brotherhood without that? Because I believe that first of all is one of the key aspects is trust, where you get to like you always have like that picture in mind, like this friend of mine or this brother of mine will turn up for me no matter what. I believe we've watched it so much in movies where you find that they really stand up for themselves. So trust is one of the most important issues. Loyalty, in terms of like, my bro will never like do this. Okay, some of them do, and when they do that, no, that's not brotherhood. Yeah, that turns out to be something different from brotherhood. But brotherhood is standing up for me no matter what. Also the aspect of unspoken boundaries, like getting to understand that if I do this, this is how my bro will turn out to be. So you always have like this aspect of like understanding the other person, where I believe that a connection comes in. Yeah, it comes down to somebody you can be vulnerable to, somebody who you can laugh with by at the end of the day, somebody who you can speak to, somebody who can share like information, and then like add on to that, like you're like, bro, this thing is disturbing me. How do I go about it? And I believe that I would really put it similar to I'd use this term as an umbrella term, like male friendships and brotherhood is therapy. It's therapy, because when you go to a therapist, what do? You go there open up your mind, tell them that this and this and this, in hope for guidance and a way forward. So I believe also for male friendship and brotherhood, that should be a key aspect. I believe no bro should go for therapy if you have like a brother you can rely on, or like, yeah, a friend who you can rely on. So I'd I'll put it directly or in correlation to therapy, as said. Yeah, I believe that is it. Because and we also see like we in the current world, men are like really going through a lot. Society dictates a lot of things about how a man should carry themselves, how they should do this and this. And so this brotherhood or male friendships, they play a very big role in terms of giving you a way forward, being an anchor. Because an anchor, I always like put this example of an anchor. You see, an anchor is the thing that holds a ship. So if a bro is at the point of like, let's put bro's life as that ship that is there. So if bro is not held by his bros, he'll definitely get into the ocean and disappear in the middle of the ocean. But now having an anchor is somebody who holds you despite storms, despite torments, and despite everything. And I believe we all have that one friend that you can share something with, you can seek advice and sort it out. So for me, that friend I'll have as Martin, because Martin is somebody who's like, we've been there, we've had experiences together. And yeah, and if we bring that aspect of mistrust, misloyalty, disrespect, breaking of each other's boundaries, then there's no brotherhood within. Yeah, so that's how I'd put it. Yeah, how would you put it?
Yeah, I will just like I will use the same terms that you've used. I will say it is built on respect. When I will say it is built on commitment, and this is where maybe people this is where people do go wrong. Like utapata most of our friendship is fully defined by environment. It's because now the environment is serving us, it's bringing us close. But at the moment the environment is no longer there, or is not serving us, now we tend to go and prioritize other things. But with commitment, it creates a difference, because like friendship is a choice. This is something we choose. It's not something we are born into. It's not something we are just infatuated by the looks. Like even like choosing a love partner, it can be based on maybe face card. And like honestly speaking, those are the things that normally drive us to things like romantic relationship.
Yeah, true.
A sibling, this is something we are born into. But for friendship is a choice. And when it is a choice, like commitments really plays a role. Affirmation and constantly checking up on one another, because it is a therapy, as you've mentioned. Like I really have to have this someone that I feel vulnerable. I will share with you my rejection outside, my struggles, my frustration, without the fear of being judged or being pushed away for that. So men, I have nothing else to add on what you've said.
Man.
Yes.
And there's this one point you put it as somebody who never judges you. I believe that's also a very key point, because if you have somebody, you go tell your stories and they're like, you did that, you're the one who's okay. Yeah, there's that constructive like criticism where somebody can tell you like, yeah, you are the one who wronged in this way and this way and this way. But there's judgment now. Judgment is where people, they might possibly not judge you from the sitting where you've sat, but internally they're judging you and they're like, why did they do like such a stupid thing? Yeah, but there's that constructive judgment where somebody can, or criticism if I may put it, how somebody can like be honest with you
in a solution based way.
So somebody who does not judge you as well, that's one of also the foundation of brotherhood.
And like I know we have a viewer here who is maybe now reflecting on their life, and they do have a friend who they really would want it to be something serving, but maybe they are struggling with boundary or conflict resolution. So what will be your advice to them?
So first of all, communication is key, as they always put it. Secondly is, as I had put it before, boundary. It should be something that serves and does not control. And by serving, I mean it's something that protects you at all costs. Like you can never, if I put it as boundary, not even your lover, not even your sibling, not even your parents, not even anybody else can break it. If I say like, I don't tolerate disrespect, so it means that if somebody comes and disrespects me, no matter all costs, I will still like, the point of action will be walking out of that thing. It's like in terms of romantic relationships. If somebody like does not become like, okay, somebody like cheats, as you always put it, that's that aspect of disloyalty. There are these people who are always like, let me just forgive them and give them like this second chance, and maybe it might not happen again. Then it happens again. Then you say, let me just forgive them. Then it happens again, and it becomes the same cycle. So it's more of like you're in something hurting, something that's okay. There's this quote in terms of that one. It says like, being in let's say it's a Japanese quote. It says like, okay, I don't know, I don't really wouldn't put the quote, but it's something about like entering the wrong train which is going on a different direction. So the more you stay on that train, the more the expensive the journey becomes. Yeah. So I believe that that's also one of the things, like in terms of boundaries, that's how we should like look at it. If somebody like breaks your boundary, you should like be assertive, stand up and be like, no, this is not it, and this does not serve me. So you should be open to letting go. So communication is one thing. Boundaries should serve you. And also in terms of conflict resolution, never let your conflicts like spill over. Always be a free bird. Speak it out. Yeah. And if it's something that the other party maybe does not want good for you, I believe it's also from that you can be able to learn that, yeah, this is a true friend. I believe that there's a definition of a friend and a true friend. Yeah, a friend can be there for you no matter what and everything, but a true friend is somebody who's like, who will be honest with you, who will like be by your side no matter what, and whatever they give you, you can see like results out of it. So for a brother struggling with that, just focus on that. And as well, you can also just try to dig in deep in terms of this topic of brotherhood. Get to understand it more. What's maybe some podcasts, get to understand the dynamics of friendships. Yeah, I believe
you've answered the question perfectly. Okay. You really answered the question perfectly. And my last, just to add on something, and like this is why, like I was reading this book that this book I was reading, it was The Prisons of Our Thoughts. So The Prisons of Our Thoughts, like it is just about finding meaning, the importance of having meaning in life. And one of the reasons, like the best way to have meaning in life and the simplest way is to try to establish meaningful connection. And this is a choice now, and this is where friendship comes in. And whenever you are in a detrimental relationship, as he mentioned, that thing is very, very, like very, very costly. Like very, very costly. Because kuna this quote still from the book, inasema Ubuntu, it's like a Zulu, it's a Zulu phrase, like Ubuntu, Ngumuntu, Ngabantu. So it means like I am who I am because of what we all are. So if I have the wrong people of what we all are, who are friends, so in Amanisha, I'll be who I am because of what we all are. So if I'm around healthy relationships that serves me, then I am who I am because of what we all are. I will be a healthy person. But if I'm in the opposite, the vice versa, then that will be the case. So if you are struggling with that, like you have to be really, really intentional of getting out of that to something special. Yeah.
Hey man, that's a very deep quote, man. Wow, it's like you're speaking the language of gods. I believe you can just have it on. You can print it on some.
I wrote.
You already wrote it. Man.
It was a difficult term, but Ubuntu, that is the OS that you use.
Ubuntu. And Ubuntu always means like togetherness.
So the extension is Ubuntu, Gubantu, Ngamuntu.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So that is yeah.
You should note that down. Huh?
Yeah.
I should note that down. I should
write
have
that down. Yeah.
Next time you ask me to come with a notebook so that I be taking notes of everything we're talking about. Yeah.
And otherwise, if I was to say something, I would say like this would be this podcast was always in our mind from the day one that I started hosting people, and it took time. And today I'm understanding that it was really, really worth that time. Yeah, like I feel like we've like I just feel whole.
Good things take time.
Good things take time.
Yeah.
It was really worth it. And if I was to say something like you are going to see his face more oftenly, it's gonna be a routine.
Yeah.
Even if it is annually or monthly or quarterly, it's gonna be a routine because honestly, today it has been about us. Yeah, and which is a good thing. And Pia, I'm so happy. I do pray for that in your life. Do you have anything for them before we close?
Okay. Actually, yeah, as you put it, like I'm also sitting down here, just looking at how far we've come, looking at how deep a friendship can be, how the dynamics of brotherhood works. Yeah, also from speaking, I came to learn that also these are things like maybe have been on my mind. Like it's something that I've not been paying attention to. There's always that thing about the red cat theory, where the red cat theory, where if I tell you today, like how many red cars did you see on the way maybe to somewhere, you won't like give me the exact number. But if I ask you in the morning tomorrow and you'll be going, your mind will be focused on that. So like I really hadn't gone through a library in my mind in terms of the friendship, but coming to sit down, I see like it's something like really worth it. It's something that is worth this story to tell in the podcast. And so with that, I just really like to thank you, man, for having me in this podcast. Everybody that's watching, yeah, you should share this like to people as well who need it.
Yeah.
And yeah, subscribe to Martin Sam, yeah. Modern Day Campfire by Martin Sam, yeah.
Thank you for your never-ending support. You're part of the reason we keep on doing what we are doing. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Kali man. So this is a very interesting session, and from Modern Day Campfire guests, I have two questions to answer, unfortunately, not one. So I'll start with question number 8. It was from Mulikani. Where are you currently? Are you happy? Okay, so I'll tackle this question in this way. So in terms of where are you currently, the physical way, and in terms of a life perspective. So currently I'm in Kahawa Sukari at Modern Day Campfire Studios. Yeah. And in terms of life, where am I? So currently I'm at, I'd say at a peaceful, at a serene, and at a life learning place. I believe that at this age is where we get to learn like a lot of things, get to build your own story. So yeah. And are you happy? Yeah. Currently I'll say I'm happy and content. Yeah. Then we have a question from Jacqueline. That's question number 9. If you could change one thing in the world today, what would it be? Wow, this is an interesting question. Okay, so if I was to change one thing in the world, and I'm glad that it's been brought about as world. So what I'd change about the world is I believe the education system, because I feel that the current educational system is, there's a video that I've watched where people are like are consuming this content in terms of getting into industries and everything. But currently the world is changing, and right now the point where we are at is everybody has individuality. You find like a 16-year-old boy, you find like a 18-year-old girl. They already have well-established companies and everything. So it will be the way what is incorporated into our educational system for consumption. So for example, the financial inclusion, the financial studies, the knowledge in terms of finances. Like people shouldn't be taught only finance in terms of what has always been there, but how does money work? How can you be able to like make yourself financially stable and everything? The little topics that we do not tackle. So the educational system definitely is in terms of the consumerism is what I'll change. And so I see a spot for writing a question. Yeah, so I'll guess I'll leave a question to the next person for to be in the podcast. Should I read out my question or not?